second thing on the list for me is like, and I think most people understand this at this point, is that you got to lift weights, right? And so you're lifting weights, but you're leaving things on the table. And how does this work? So I think when guys return to the gym or they get into their workout routines, most males, in my experience, are they like that routine. They like that structure and they get very comfortable. And if you don't believe me, just go to the gym and go at the same time, every day or on the days that you go, and you'll see the same people in there. And what you'll invariably see, and I would put money on this, you're going to see guys doing exactly the same thing in a month, in 2 months, in 3 months, in 6 months, in a year as they were doing when you first walked in the door. So they're working into these routines, and they're not giving themselves the stimulus or the changing the variables in order to continue the process of, number one, building. And it's more of a maintenance, right? We're not really building, and they kind of start to drift towards, let's just say, the same stuff all the time. And I don't know if for me, what you end up seeing is it's the same guy. When I talk about that individual or that avatar of that person, what are they doing every time you go in and see them in the gym? And they're doing this like 2-3 times a week. They're going, well, I'm hitting the same body part like I've been told. I'm going into the split where I could get more volume, right, by dividing up my chest workouts over 2 days a week instead of 1 day a week. I know I'm not doing the bro split anymore. I'm doing something where I'm hitting maybe chest on Monday and I'm hitting it again on Thursday or something like that. But what did you leave off the table in between? And I guess what I'm saying is particularly when guys get restarted, they get in and they have a little bit of a program going, whatever that is. And then some things start to fall off, tend to gravitate towards the things they like doing or where they're quote unquote seeing a result. Get on that bench press, get on that pull down or that lat pull down, and what happens? Start to fill out a little bit more. Start to see your strength go up. You can put more weight on the bar. You can put more weight on the stack. Dudes, typically, that's what they're chasing, and they keep chasing that. And while they're doing that, things are happening.
Kind of like what we were speaking with nutrition a second ago of you'll see some initial results just by taking action. I think a lot of people, like you were saying, where they initially fill out, like initial hypertrophy or gains in fitness, like you just kind of have to do work initially and you'll see some of that. But the theme of like continued success, which we talked about with the nutrition, of being able to have continued success with their programming, like there needs to be a comprehensive training program, a variable training program, a progressive training program. And I think that's where a lot of them miss. And they go in and they do the same things they did when they were in high school, and they go and they do, 4 chest exercises, and maybe they don't hardly do any back exercises. Maybe they train legs once a week and it's low effort, and I think that's for continued success. That's where a lot of the missing parts are. So
what we're talking about is like you're lifting weights, but your program sucks.
Yeah.
Right. It's just not well structured. It's not well organized. And even if it is, and you think you're doing, no, I got a program. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But are you doing the program in the manner that it's laid out, using, proper intensities, proper frequency of things? Because what's the first thing that's going to fall off when you, run into that schedule conflict during the week, or when you do, get sick or have that low energy day or whatever else? Like, are you going to skip chest day?
You're going to skip leg day.
You're never skipping chest day, right? You're skipping your deadlifts, you're skipping leg day, you're skipping the hard stuff. So what you end up gravitating towards is what's easy for you, right? Or what you like doing, or
arm
what
farm.
You do well at.
The arm farm, right? So, and that's not to say that's not valuable, but again, what are you leaving off the table? So you're lifting weights, and maybe even you're lifting hard, right? You're training to or at or near failure, on the things that you're doing, but what are you doing? And are you doing everything that's inside that program? And I'm not even talking about like, are you going 5 days a week versus 6 days a week or 3 days a week? If you're going 3 days a week, are you hitting all the things that you should be hitting? Or are you just kind of gravitating back towards and spending more time and more intensity in the areas that you like doing or feel comfortable or that you perceive are giving you the result that you think you're getting or you want to get? And how is that related back to what your overall goal was or is, which is fat loss or maintenance? And there's a pitfall there, and we see that happening a lot. And when that happens, and that's why you see the 45-year-old walking around that's wearing this medium shirt that's all chest and arms and nothing else, right? He has no middle back. He has no back at all, right? He has 0 legs. He never wears shorts, right? Because he's skipping those other things. And while his perception is looking in the mirror with his medium shirt on, he looks great, right? And I'm not saying you don't look great. Maybe you do, right? For you, right? But there's some glaring, obvious things that start to show up over time as people continue to they get outside of, what was a well-structured program into what feels comfortable, what they like doing.
And for me as a coach, I always think about too, like, there's the aesthetic aspect of it, of what you're seeing in the mirror. But, at a certain point, if you're missing this comprehensive approach, that's where these chronic issues slowly start to build up. And I think one of the biggest things for this hardworking individual, like the guy we're kind of talking about, why they fall off is because, man, that shoulder is just continuing to get worse and worse and worse. And now I can't bench. Now, what do you do if you've been benching, twice a week? I think that's when you're missing those nuances of the program. That doesn't necessarily A equals B for injury, but that's where those chronic issues start to kind of creep up on you if you're missing those pieces. So,
yeah, I think so. There's a couple things that kind of a combination of things is like, and I said what I said is you're lifting weights, but your program sucks. Maybe it's not that. Maybe it's more you're lifting weights, but your execution sucks. So what are you doing inside the execution of your program? What are you missing? What are you leaving off? What do you knowingly and maybe unknowingly, what ends up disappearing there and what ends up getting added on?
Yeah.
The other part of that is the drifting to what you are comfortable with. And so that's more of like you came out of the gate a little hard, right? And that's okay, right? But at 40, 45, 50 years old, like how hard is hard enough in order to get you down the road you need to, or you want to get to? And that would be obviously give your body the minimal effective dose in order to get the response that you're looking for. And again, going back to dudes, the more is better principle generally pops up. And especially when you start seeing a bit of a result. And again, dudes end up oftentimes see a result pretty quickly. And that result is something they have a connection to because maybe in the past, they recognize, oh, my chest is coming back. My arms are coming back. I'm filling out my shirts a little bit better. And so it's more. I need to go harder. I need to go longer. I need to lift heavier, all that kind of stuff. And so when that happens, particularly as we're getting older and we're not as resilient, our tissue quality changes, right? Our hormone levels are changing a little bit. We have this other liability that we're bringing on in life or whatnot. You start winding up with these overuse things. You get a little bit uncomfortable. There's some discomfort associated with your workouts. I certainly understand what that feels like. And so you're looking for, okay, so I can't do my chest presses. Rather than doing more chest pressing, maybe what you'd need to be doing is more pulling, right? But instead of doing more pulling, you go, well, what's the chest exercise machine? What's the one that I can pick that allows me to do the thing I like to do, which is more chest pressing.
What can kind of stabilize me and how can I shortcut my way back to chest?
Right. So you got away from doing the basic bench press or the basic dumbbell chest presses or whatever else. And now you're doing a machine, or now you're just doing a fly, right? And, a cable fly, because that allows you to kind of get your body in that position that doesn't hurt anymore. And so you're putting your efforts there where they probably should be put somewhere else. So again, it's two things. It's poor execution, and then it's also coming out of the gate so hard from the get-go and running with I'm getting it, this is working, I'm working. And then somehow in the back of that brain, it kind of disappears that there's other things I need to be doing in here in order to maintain for the long term, what I'm trying to get done.